guys, welcome back to my What I Eat in a Day video series. And now we're going to have dinner, and for this I'm going to use the Instant Pot, and we're going to make a nice pot of navy bean soup. Now this is a super easy recipe that I think your family will really like, and I'll show you how easy it is to make. All you're going to need for this recipe is 1 onion. I think this is a yellow organic onion. We have 3 potatoes because I like to put potatoes in my soup. Don't be scared of starch, guys. I lost over 200 pounds eating a lot of starch, eating potatoes and beans and other starchy things. It's fat that makes you fat, not starch. The next ingredient is going to be 3 ribs of celery that I've just chopped up, and about 4 big carrots that I cut into pretty big chunks. I want them in pretty big chunks. I want them about the same size as my potatoes, is why they're in such big chunks. And then over here in the Instant Pot, I've got a pound of navy beans that I soaked and cooked already in the Instant Pot. And if you've never done beans in a pressure cooker, it is so the way to go. After I soaked them, I only had to cook them 15 minutes at high pressure. Then there you already have beans. And I used a cup and a half of them and some of the water to make my easy white bean hummus dressing. That if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it below. But I'm using the rest of the beans in this recipe. And then for seasoning, all we need, because you really want the flavor of the beans and all that good stuff to come out, all we're using is a little bit of cumin. I'm using a couple teaspoons of cumin. And I always have freshly pressed garlic. So we're using 2 cloves, and then I'm going to taste it, and I might put in more. I'll probably put in more. I know me. Okay, one of the things I wanted to show you is if you don't have one of these contraptions, you probably want to get one. This is called a Vidalia Chop Wizard, or I think this one is, this one is the actual Vidalia Chop Wizard. They're less than 20 bucks, and this is what I wanted to show you. If you're like me and you hate chopping onions, this is such a great invention. I'm just going to peel this onion, chop off the top and bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and quarter it. Let me get off the outer skin. Okay. And of course I'm getting a stubborn one because I'm on camera. There we go. And then I'm going to just chop it into quarters, just big chunks of onion. Okay. Now this is going to make a loud sound, so I apologize for this in advance, but wait till you see how great this comes out. You just give it a good slam. And I'll do that a few times. And look at that. That fast you have all that onion for your recipe. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and show you that you can also do a potato the exact same way. So I've got these little small potatoes, little organic potatoes. Potatoes are one of the things you want to make sure and get organic if you can. Look at that. Look how great it does on potatoes. I love it. Okay. So I apologize for the noise, but look how nicely that does. I've got potatoes and onions in there. I'm going to finish chopping those up, and I'll be right back with you, and then we'll put it all together. Chopping up all those potatoes and onions took like a minute, and now I'm going to put it all together. So I'm putting into the Instant Pot with the beans. Now I did go ahead and start the Instant Pot and put it on saute so that it would be hot, so it would cook a lot faster for me. And I'm going to just throw in my celery. That was 3 ribs of celery all chopped up. And you know how like celery sometimes has the leaves on the little shorter pieces? Put those in too. Those have a lot of flavor. They're going to taste really good. Then again, this was 4 big carrots that I chopped in big chunks. Okay. And then I just put the potatoes and onions together in a bowl together. And I'm going to put those all in. Okay. And here's even more potatoes and more potatoes and onions. The rest of those. So that was 3 kind of small potatoes. What I like to do is I'll get the bag of potatoes. So here's some organic potatoes. And I'll use the big guys and bake them and use them for a meal by themselves. And then the little potatoes that you get in your organic potatoes, use them for your recipes. Okay? And now all that is left to do is squeeze our cloves of garlic in there. If you don't have a garlic press like this one, another thing that you should maybe ask Santa Claus for, because boy does it do a great job of getting all the garlic and making sure you don't have, you know, one big bite of garlic. It really distributes it well in your bowl. Okay, and then I'm going to put in some cumin, and I'm going to eyeball this, but I want about 2 teaspoons. So there's one, and there's another one. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to put the lid on the Instant Pot. I'm going to cancel out that saute because it's already hot for me. Give it a little stir just to help distribute all the ingredients before I cook it. I want to make sure my pressure cooker is set to sealing. See how they're sealing and venting? I want it to be on sealing. I don't know if you can see that, but I have it on sealing. And when I put on the lid to my pressure cooker, it's going to sing me a little song. Just let me know it's on. Okay? And then I'm just going to do manual pressure. And look at this. I adjust it down to only 2 minutes. 2 minutes is all it's going to take to cook those potatoes and carrots perfectly. So it's going to take, that's it. That was all I had to do. I put it on sealing, I put it on manual, I put 2 minutes on there, and it's going to take a little while to come up to pressure, but it won't take that long because I did put it on saute and heated up everything before I started. And so that's going to go off in about 2 minutes, and then I'll show you the soup. Be right back with you. Okay, so the Instant Pot came up to pressure and it cooked for 2 minutes. And now the soup is done, and I'm going to go ahead and take off the lid. Now I let it come down to pressure naturally. If you look, there's about 15 minutes on the clock. Whenever you're making something really big, like a big bowl, a big pot of soup or something like that, it's usually best to let it come down to pressure naturally, which can take a few minutes. It's still a lot faster than cooking it in a slow cooker or cooking it on the stove, which you could definitely do. And I'm just going to take this over here so you can see it. You got to be able to see it. Here we go. All right, what's in the pot? See, look at that. Look at that. Delicious homemade soup, and it was so easy. And it's going to taste really, really good. Okay, and then there's one more thing that I like to do. Let me see if I can get this shot better. And that's, I'll take a bunch of greens. Now this is some baby spinach. And I'll just mix it in there. While after it's done cooking, you don't want to do this before it cooks. But after it's done cooking, and that'll, while it's still hot, it is definitely going to cook those greens down a little bit and wilt them a little. And you can leave that out if you don't like greens, but I do. And I just think that looks like such delicious soup. Look at that. Yummy. All those carrots and potatoes and beans and celery and onion in there. Okay. So I made this big batch of soup, and I think it's cooked pretty perfectly. I'm just going to keep on putting greens in there because I like my greens. Get your greens by any means, right? I'm just going to keep on putting them in. But what I'll do is I will divide this up into 2 or 3 cup containers, and then I'll have one of these pretty much every night for dinner. This is often what I'll have for dinner, either some kind of soup or salad, and some kind of, either my soup is my starch, like this one's got beans and it's got potatoes in it, so my beans are my starch. Or I'll have a salad and a baked potato and some beans or something like that. And that's what I have for dinner. So that pretty much sums up what I eat every single day. The only thing that I sometimes do is I might snack on fruit if I get hungry. But I have a green smoothie in the morning with the chia seeds in there. I have my 3 big bowls of veggies, sometimes with some sauce on it like I showed you. And then for dinner, I'll have a nice bowl of something starchy and delicious like this great soup. And that's pretty much what I eat. What you might want to choose to eat could be different, but I encourage you to make it simple and unprocessed and really wholesome and delicious. And cook ahead so you always have something easy and yummy in the fridge and you're never tempted by things you don't want to eat anymore. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.